Good day everyone, I'm Dayan Cristobal, BSBA 4A, and my topic report is all about the how of organization change implementation. At the outset of this how-to section on organization change implementation, it should be emphasized that for system-wide change to be successful, multiple interventions are required. Regardless of how sophisticated a particular intervention may be, relying on it all alone will not result in large-scale organization change. In a study some years ago of organization development efforts, researchers Burke, Clark, and Koopman 1984 found that the attempts at change that more often led to failure were implementations that relied on a single intervention, and that the one used most often was structure change. In a more recent review of 7 successful organization change efforts, they all relied on multiple interventions. To say that there are many interventions in the domain of organization change and development is an understatement. Over a decade ago, Fagenson and Burke studied 55 interventions and activities in the field of OD. The most up-to-date list of interventions is in Masaryk's Organization Development and Consulting. Masaryk and Pei Carpenter 2002. Grouping and classifying this large array of interventions in some reasonable manner is therefore useful, but before classifying them, let us first consider way to think about them. Fred Masaryk and Marisa Pei Carpenter, with contributions from other well-known professionals, reestablishes the connection between theory, research, and practice and affirms core OD values. They emphasize the personhood of the consultant and client, the relevance of feel and intuition combined with fact and technique, and the importance of real people doing real things in real time holistically. Argyris 1970. In intervention, theory and method stated that an effective intervention would need to meet 3 primary criteria: 1. Valid and useful information, 2. Free choice, and 3. Internal commitment. By valid and useful information, he meant that which describes that factor plus their interrelations that create the problem for the client system. According to Argyris, the information the change agent has collected from and about the client accurately reflects what people in the organization perceive, they feel, believe, what they consider to be their primary concerns and issues, what they experience as complexities, and perhaps accompanying frustrations of living within and being a part of the client system. Argyris' theories focus on single and double loop learning, the immaturity, maturity, continuum, organizational communication, and the effects of each of these on employee motivation, accountability, and empowerment. Chris Argyris explored the concept of organizational learning and its impact on a company's growth, effectiveness, and adaptability. For all practical purposes, this first primary task of an interventionist, obtaining valid and useful information, responds to an actual and felt need for change on the part of the client. If the practitioner obtains valid information, it will reflect a need for change in the organization. If the practitioner responds to that need, he or she will have done so by providing valid and useful information. By free choice, Argyris means that the locus of decision-making is in the client system, and that the client is provided alternatives for action. No particular or specified action is automatic, preordained, or imposed. Argyris states, a choice is free to the extent the members can make their selection for a course of action with minimal internal defensiveness, can define the path or paths by which the intended consequence is to be achieved, can relate the choice to their central needs, and can build into their choices a realistic and challenging level of aspiration. Free choice therefore implies that the members are able to explore as many alternatives as they consider significant and select those that are central to their needs. By internal commitment, Argyris means that the client owns the choice that is made regarding change and feels responsible for implementing it. Organization members act on their choice because it responds to needs, both individual and organizational. French and Bell provide practical guidelines for helping the change agent to structure activities and interventions in effective ways. They suggest structuring activities so that the relevant people are present. The intervention is A. Problem or opportunity oriented, and B. Oriented to the problems generated by the clients themselves, similar to Argyris as cited above. Third, the goal is clear and the ways to reach the goal are clear. Next, there is a high probability of successful goal attainment. Next, the activity consists of both experience-based learning and conceptual cognitive learning. The climate for the activity is supportive and fosters no defensive behavior. Participants learn how to solve the problem and at the same time learn better how to solve problems in general. This is what Argyris and Sean mean by single and double loop learning. Next, participants learn both about the content of the issue and the process of how best to work on it. And the last, participants are engaged fully, that is, including both thinking and feeling, and can participate accordingly. With respect to classifying the many interventions in organization change and development, early attempts were rather superficial. Burke and Herrnstein listed only 6 categories: team building, managing conflict, survey feedback, techno-structural, training, and the all-purpose miscellaneous. What could be added to the French and Bell? Typology is the target group, interorganizational, that is interventions designed to bring together 2 or more organizations in some manner to enlarge and enhance the present system. Such interventions include mergers and acquisitions, joint ventures, strategic alliances, partnerships, and consortia. That's all. Thank you for listening.